We are officially live. Welcome, everyone. This is Maria Malik, your corporate speaking coach. I am super excited today because I have a very exciting guest here with me today. Her name is Basia Richard, and Basia is a stylist. She's an expert in her field. I've been following her for a while. She's been doing amazing things. So we're going to get started in just a few minutes. But before we do, I want to make sure you guys can hear us, you can see us, and you are letting us know where you're from. So please let me know in the chat box where you're from so we know what part of the world we are reaching. It does take a few minutes, Basia. It's a little bit of a lag, I've noticed. So let's give everyone just a couple of minutes, but we're going to start right after that. I do want to say hi to a couple of people so that we know everything is good. Hi, Alicia. How are you doing? Basia, I'm not sure if you can see the chat. Are you able to see the chat, by the way?
I can, yes.
Okay, perfect. Hi, Alicia. Alicia, let us know where you are from. And by the way, you guys, today's topic is how to dress like a leader. So I'm really excited because this is very different from what I typically do. So Basia, if you know, I always talk about speaking, how to use your voice, all of that stuff. But let's say hi to a couple of people. We also have Atif, we have Dania from Miami, Daniela from Toronto, Mukesh from India, Guinevere from the US. We have Andrew from Singapore. So if you're just joining, again, do say hello and let me and Basia know where you are from. All right, great. So let's get into it. Now, Basia, first of all, thank you so much for doing this. Like I said, I've been following you for a while, and I love style and fashion and that type of stuff. Definitely not an expert, but I've learned so much from you. And the reason why I wanted to bring you on is because I was like, it would be great just to talk about style and fashion because it does matter, especially if you're trying to look like a leader. So before we start, Basia, I just would love for you to give everyone an introduction. Talk to us a little bit about what you do, maybe what your passions are, and how you got into all of this. Do tell us.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm really excited. I can talk about this for hours, so I'm really excited. We're gonna tap on it. There's not too many fashion. I don't know. I would call it expert on LinkedIn. So this is really cool. My name is Basia. I'm a fashion expert and a style expert and strategist, and I work with women in corporate environments and also entrepreneurs, and I help them dress for success at work. So I help them elevate their image, refine their style so that they can feel confident and get a job, get promotion, and be successful in their fields. And I actually started in celebrity styling. So because I'm in Los Angeles, so obviously this is a big scene here, entertainment industry. That's how I started. For many years, I styled many big celebrities for red carpet, advertising, editorials, you name it. I've done it all. And at some point, I just had a really big burnout. I could not deal with putting another dress on somebody for the red carpet without having any type of, the feeling of that my work actually matters.
Okay.
And at that point, I met my first client. I was during pandemic, everything shut down, 2020, no one is doing anything. And I had a client who came in and I helped her create a new image, new brand. She was just about to get a promotion. And she came back to me 3 months later and she was literally crying. And the clothes, I never imagined that what I'm wearing, the style, the image can actually make such a huge impact on my life personally, but at my work as well, and how people see me, how people respect me, how they take me seriously. And I was like this, my light bulb came up. I was like, oh my gosh, I can actually work with real women and then help them dress so they can get what they want. They can feel confident. They can go into the meeting and be noticed. They already are so successful. They are so smart, and they want to also stand out in more like visual way. So that's my transition happened a few years ago, and since then I'm just doing everything online. So I'm working with women around the world, Europe, in North America, and everywhere. So that's the quick, sums up of what happened with my styling career.
That's amazing. I love that you transitioned from helping celebrities. I think I saw a picture of you dressing Selena Gomez,
Mhm.
and then you went from that to now helping women in the corporate world. And that's why I really wanted to invite you, because I teach people how to speak, I teach them how to be confident. And I do think that dressing a certain way plays a huge role on your confidence level. So I'd love to give everyone more tips. I'd love to hear kind of your expert advice and all of that. But before we do continue, I want to let everyone know, if this is something you are interested in, you want to get better at dressing up, you want to show up and dress like a leader, you want to feel more confident in what you're wearing, please follow Basia. She shares lots of tips, lots of advice. So do give her a follow and send her a message if you'd like her help. But Basia, let's get into now the actual tips and techniques and things that we can do to kind of elevate our style. So for you, what would be that one advice, the most important advice that you can give to someone that wants to show up and wants to be taken seriously at work? What is something they should wear, not wear? Talk to us about that.
I like to talk about this in sort of two perspectives, because there's a lot of times it's very difficult to just give you a one specific outfit, wear this, and you're going to be taken seriously, you're going to feel amazing. And for one reason, because what we wear is very subjective. And you might think that what I'm wearing is completely crazy. Why is this woman wearing a shirt with stars, right? And I absolutely love this shirt. So what you wear is going to be, for one person might not think like this is very appropriate. For somebody else, um, it might be something that they absolutely love. So I always tell my clients, you have to understand what a professional look means to you. And I would simply take a piece of paper and write it down. Is it that I love? What colors do I love? When you open the closet, what are the silhouettes that you wear all the time? What are the prints you wear all the time? What is that you are being drawn to? Because that's going to be really something that needs to come from you. I cannot tell you, Maria, you have to wear a black suit, you're going to look amazing. You will, but are you going to feel amazing in that black suit? That's a big question. So that kind of first step needs to really come from me. And when I work with clients, we kind of go back and forth and find that kind of look, that kind of style direction that is really helping them to kind of visualize how does it look like for them. And the next thing is really finding the clothes and the combinations of outfits that is appropriate. And then the next step is really thinking about the environment and where we're working and how we're dressing for that specific situation. And when we combine those two things, that's all going to be kind of coming together. And then fit is number one. The clothes can be, very expensive. They don't fit us. We're just going to look sloppy. Another thing is how we put the looks together, how, creating proportions, creating balancing the outfit is really important. So to answer this question, I always say, you have to dress for who you are, for your personality, but then you have to dress for the environment, for who you are meeting. So you always dress appropriately for that specific occasion, whether you work in a more casual environment, maybe that's, on Fridays, everybody goes to jeans. Sure, wear jeans, why not? But maybe if you're a lawyer, it has to be more toned down. It needs to be more very corporate and more conservative look.
Okay, that's actually really good. The reason why I think this really resonated with me, especially, I love comfort, and you know what? To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. Half the time when I'm working, I'm in my pajamas. It's only when I have a call, I'll go change my shirt. I'm like, okay, all right, Maria, go change your shirt at least. For me, comfort is so big. Like, I need to feel comfortable. I need to be able to move around. I hate like when things are too tight or they don't fit well, because like I've gained weight in the past few years because of the pandemic, so my style had to change. So I had to get new clothing, and I just noticed that I was gravitating more and more towards like stretchy fabric that would let me just feel comfortable. And especially now that I work from home, so when I do have to dress up and go out, like it's such a headache. Like I don't want to go places because I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna wear. And it's frustrating, right? But once I think you figure out, okay, this is what looks good on me, this is what I'm gonna be comfortable in, and you find that middle ground where you still look professional, you still look like a leader, at the same time you feel comfortable, that's I think really that sweet spot. But I want to tell you just a little bit more of my own experience about because like I said, I've always struggled with style. And my biggest problem was, again, I didn't know what to put together. Okay. So I would just like open my closet. You know, when you have so much clothes, I have nothing to wear. And that's when I started like searching, like, why do I never have anything to wear? And I discovered a capsule wardrobe. So I'm sure you know all about that, and maybe talk to us more about that. Is that something you think everyone should start with? Have a capsule wardrobe, and maybe you can tell our audience what a capsule wardrobe is. If you think personally that's where you should start. If you think no, don't even bother, go this way instead. Talk to us about that. But before we do, I just want to again remind everyone one more time, do say hello to us in the chat box. Let us know where you are from. And Atif, yes, if you guys have questions, please ask questions. We are going to get into questions in just a few moments. So drop them in the chat box and I will have Basia answer them for you. But again, also let us know where you're from. We have a lot of people today, Basia. This is telling me that people are very interested in this topic. We at one point had almost 177 people watching. So it tells me this is something that people are really interested in and want to get better. So we have Ashley from Bakersfield. Fun fact, Ashley, I was just in Bakersfield this past weekend visiting some friends up there. So it was my first time and I was really surprised to see how beautiful it is. We have Zubair from Pakistan. We have Salah. He has a question, capsule wardrobes. Okay. He's talking about capsule wardrobes work best for me. I have them organized season-wise. Great job with that. Alicia is also talking about capsule wardrobe. Okay. So again, do say hello to us in the chat box. Basia, what are your thoughts on a capsule wardrobe? Should we have them? Should we not have them? If we should, where do people start? Because I think the basics. So tell us about that.
Okay, I'm going to disappoint you. I hate capsule wardrobes. And I tell you why. So capsule wardrobes, in the end of the day, yes, your wardrobe should mix together. Everything should go together really well. But a lot of women start with creating capsule wardrobes without knowing what type of clothes looks good on them, what they should invest in, what type of clothes they should wear. Let me create a capsule wardrobe. So they go for some sort of list that, must-have list that list sort of, you should have a t-shirt, you have a jeans, you should have this, you should have that. And they buy all those things, put in a closet, and then they wear the same things. So what I like to do, and then what I tell my clients as well, is to always create the wardrobe based on your lifestyle, not a capsule wardrobe. And here's why. Because you want to have a wardrobe that's going to perfectly reflect everything that you're doing. So you have to start with, what am I doing within my life? So if you know that you're traveling for work, if you know that you're getting on Zoom calls, if you know, sorry, my cat is very, he wants to talk as well. I don't know if you can hear him. if you are, I don't know, going with kids, I don't know, whatever you're doing with kids, soccer practice on Saturday. If you have meetings with clients, you have to take all those things, write it down. Then you're looking in your closet. Do I have clothes that's going to be representing all those environments? So like for you, you're going to be on Zoom most of the time. So that's where you're going to have 20 tops to 2 pants, to 3 pants, to 4 pants, because most of the time you're going to be switching your tops. If you have a capsule wardrobe, you would have the same amount of tops and pants, because the capsule wardrobe is going to be basically for people maybe like, as I always like to give this example to a school teacher, because she goes to the same place every day, you know, meeting with parents. It's sort of like the same environment plus the weekend, but it's going to be plus minus. It's sort of like the same environment, the same thing that she's going to be doing.
Right.
And for a corporate woman who might not be going to the office all the day, might be traveling, might be going to conferences, might be doing some Zoom, or be doing meeting in person and then Zoom and then something else, it's, in my mind, it's better to think about what we are doing and then buy the clothes that perfectly fit into what we're doing. So you don't just open like, what am I wearing? Why do I have so many clothes? And how do I put all this together? So in the end of the day, yes, you're gonna have the wardrobe that you can put together with everything is gonna go, but it's gonna fit better into your lifestyle, because you're gonna have Maria, you're gonna have 20 tops to choose from, instead of having 5 tops, 5 pants, 2 dresses. For your lifestyle might not work, if that makes sense.
Of course, yes. So this is what I've gathered from this. So capsule wardrobes, yes, are important, but you also have to look at what your lifestyle is. So if you're going to be online all the time, you're going to have more tops, maybe not as many bottoms. And if you're like, let's say you have kids, you're taking your kids to school every day, you're going to extracurricular activities, taking them to soccer. So you're going to dress a certain type of way majority of the time. So that's what you have to look at when you're creating your capsule wardrobe.
Exactly.
Okay, great. I love that. By the way, I do want to say I do love your shirt, the stars. Like something that was something, the first thing that I noticed. So I really do love it. But okay, let's talk about now the corporate world, because obviously it's evolved. And I also think that 10 years ago, people used to dress very different in the corporate world versus now. I think a lot more things are more accepted now. For example, jeans was not something you could commonly wear at work back then. Whereas now, like when I worked at Stanford, we had like, it started with just Fridays you can wear jeans. And then slowly it was, okay, Thursday, okay, Wednesday to Friday. And then at one point, you know, everyone was wearing jeans on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. So casual. So how important do you think it is to show up at work, especially let's say you're someone that wants to now get promoted, you want to be taken seriously, you want to be a leader, or maybe you already are a leader, you're leading a team, you're in a senior position. Do you think you should still dress casual if that's the company environment? Or do you think that you should still step it up and show up as your best self so you get noticed? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's interesting what you just said, because everything happened because of COVID. So I'm just going to tap on this a little bit, because prior to COVID, everybody were going to the office. Then COVID hit. We were stuck on Zoom. So everybody were showing up in their pajamas, in their sweats. Sometimes, we just put something on wearing some kind of t-shirt and then some kind of sweatpants. And suddenly we were asked to go back to the office. And everyone are so comfortable in their casual clothes, even fashion, a big fashion, had to look at this type of behavior in people, and then they came up with like oversized blazers, and everything is more looser, nothing is strict. You don't wear pencil skirts anymore. You wear more like a pleated skirt or some A-line skirt, or even pants, or like joggers to work. So the fashion even had to kind of change their overall aesthetics to see the behavioral of people. And then so I'm a huge fan of, when dressing for success, looking like a leader, dressing like a boss, is really dressing environment. But I think it's not necessarily what you wear, but how the clothes fit you. This is way more important of what you wear, because again, you can wear really crisp blazer, but if the blazer is just not fitting you well,
Right.
it's gonna look sloppy. And people, mostly with my clients, something that I don't consider sloppy, because I look at fashion a little bit different. I can see different ways of putting things together that for a lot of women that I work with is just crazy, they would never wear something like that. They see for very small little details that it's sloppy. It can be as, color is going this way. For them it's sloppy.
Okay.
So a lot of women or men who are going to be looking at those type of details will sort of see this as something that I see a lot. And then that comes down to fit. That comes down to how the clothes fit. So the seam is perfectly on top of the shoulders. When you have your blazer, it does not go below it. You might not see it, but other people will see it. And if everything fits you nicely, it can be oversized blazer, but it has to fit. As an oversized blazer, that's the style. So I think more than what we wear, how we wear it and how does it fit us is more important than actually if it's more casual or not. Because we can wear jeans that are crisp, that are not like one of those washed up jeans with holes. We can wear denim that's dark black, navy, that's straight leg, that's really polished and beautiful, with a simple blouse. Everything is just really crisp and nice and polished, but we're still comfortable, we're still casual. So I think that fit is the number one thing I would pay attention more.
Oh, I love that. I think that's probably one of the biggest advice I would take away from this because I never thought about that. I always thought, like, I'll just try on something, and if you're like, oh, okay, I feel good in it, okay, let's wear it. So always look out for just the way that it fits you. That's probably the number one thing so far that I'm taking away from this. So that's great. Now, Basha, let's get into this. Now, okay, I'll talk to you about typically what my clients are like. And I know most of them are following you, most of them are introverts. So for introverts, they are the type of people that like to stay home. But of course, a lot of these clients that I work with, very passionate. They want to move up the corporate ladder. What advice would you give them? Like, what are a few items that they should have in their wardrobe that is going to make them dress and appear more like a leader? And I know that's a very generic question. You said for your style, but this is someone in the corporate world that, let's say, goes to work 3 times a week physically, and the other 2 times they're at home. So they do have to dress up, but they could dress down when they're home. What's your advice for, I think that's probably the most common situation at this point, especially the people I work with. So people that have to go to work a few days, stay home, how should they dress? What are some items they should absolutely have? Are suits necessary? Is that something that you feel like, hey, you should have at least this amount of suits if you want to look like a leader, or suits are gone now, we just don't need them? What do you think about that? By the way, guys, if you have questions, please drop them in the chat box. We'll start taking questions very, very soon. So go ahead, Basha.
So I'm an introvert myself, and I very much see, I read your posts and I'm like, oh, this is me. This is so me. I love it. So I understand being an introvert, dressing as an introvert. There's one thing that I always tell, if you want to look polished, if you want to look like a leader, I think going after classic, and I'm calling classic silhouettes. So it's not necessarily classic style, but classic silhouettes. We want to stay away from anything that's trendy, that anything that's maybe cool at the moment. We want to go for something that you can wear. I don't know, Audrey Hepburn wore 20 years ago. Oh, sorry, years ago. I'm not 20 years ago. Years ago. You can wear the same thing in 20 years and still look crisp. And because that type of silhouettes, that type of look is always sort of like polished, very professional. So that would be color shirt. So anything without the color is going to be less, I would say, clean, maybe less polished. So classic, maybe not what I'm wearing today because I have a lot of stars, but classic, clean silhouettes like button-up shirts, like a crew neck sweaters, crew neck blouses, crew neck tops. This is very classic silhouette. you want to make sure that the fabrics, it's very important. You can see the polyester from a silk from a mile away. And then silk and nice fabrics will drape nicely. They're going to look rich. It's going to look more better fit as well. So I would look through classic silhouettes. So it can be button-up shirt, can be crew necks, can be V-necks, can be wrap dresses. For men, it would be just a classic. It doesn't need to be a suit, but just the classic blazers, neutral colors, so black, navy, taupe, blush for women. What else? Brown, maybe darker blue. So any type of neutral colors, they all go together, so you don't have to worry about anything. So that's what I would do, and choose a really good fit and really nice and luscious fabrics, because fabrics makes a huge difference. And I think shiny polyester, you're going to see it's not going to drape nicely. It's just going to look more sloppy. So keep it simple, keep it classic, and thinking about the fit. Those are probably like the three main things that I would say to keep in mind when dressing.
Okay, I love that. I think that's so important as well, especially for someone that doesn't want to have such a big wardrobe. If you just buy classic pieces, then you'll end up using them more, I think. And I think in the long term, you'll have a bigger closet that's more kind of valuable versus those trendy outfits that might not be in fashion anymore.
Yes, I mean, also a lot of people don't understand trends. They don't care for trends. They don't care for fashion. They know and they can see if someone is dressed impeccably well in classic. That's why, you have Jackie O, who it's been and always, and it's been until today, is a huge fashion icon, because she takes something that it's so simple and takes it to a next level because of the fit and because of the proportions, because of the beautiful fabrics and how it's put together. So this is always the easiest way to kind of elevate your style, elevate your image, elevate your look.
Okay, love that. Basia, what would you say to someone like that's like, hey, you know what, I want to elevate my style right now. Where should they go shopping? Do you have any specific stores? And again, I know it's a vague subject, because for you, it's again, what are you comfortable in? What's your style like and everything? But for someone that is, again, corporate introvert, they want to move up the corporate ladder, or they are in a senior position, they just got promoted maybe. Are there specific stores that you say, hey, try these stores, you'll find what you're looking for, and the quality here is good of the products, it'll last you longer? Do you have any recommendations for that?
So Theory is a good brand. It's a very classic, clean, nice silhouette, very classic, black and white. If you want something like crispy black and white, that would be Theory. Vince is very nice. I love Veronica Beard for blazers. So if you want amazing blazer, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but you buy one blazer and it's just going to be, the fit is amazing. Just the structure is amazing. She has amazing pants, and she has extended sizes as well, which is nice. On a lower side, on a lower price range, Everlane, I would say. Cézanne, that's another French brand. Amazing fit, like really good fit, beautiful pants, beautiful blouses with a little detail. So it's not just like a white blouse. It has a little bit of tiny details, which is actually really nice to add to your style. Just like I'm thinking on top of my mind. I'm terrible with names. So who else? I think that's what the good one. So like Veronica Beard on a little bit higher side, Cézanne, which is going to be very similar on a lower side. So pants like $150, $160. And Everlane, COS is really good too, which is going to be on a lower side. Yes, that's going to be more classic, clean, nice. They have very good, like a clean, crisp t-shirts, very good, nice cotton for like $45. You cannot go wrong with that. It's really thick, like nice, beautiful drapey. Not everything from COS. A lot of things going to be a little bit more oversized, but they have few classic silhouettes that you can wear. Oh my goodness, I'm terrible with names, but that's on top of my on top of my head.
You gave us a good list to go with. Everlane, I think I definitely would check out. Kohl's, I like Kohl's sometimes. Gwen Weave is saying Zara, H&M. I love H&M. My only problem with H&M is the way that the things fit me there, because I feel like H&M, like you have to have more of like a straighter rectangular body type, whereas I'm like more curvy. So I feel like they don't fit me as well, like the style. So I think that's something you have to look out for as well, like your body type, because some
Yes.
stores focus on different body types and some don't. But Basha, I was thinking, let me share my screen with you. I know a lot of people learn through, especially style, through visually seeing things. So I thought I would share my screen and we can kind of go over a couple of styles, and I want you to tell me, what do you think? Like, hey, is this a good top or something? So I just put in like corporate dressing, and I wanted to see what come up. By the way, you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, great. So I just wanted to put up corporate dressing, see what came up. Let's go to images. I want you to tell me if this is something you think, yes, looks like what a leader would wear, and maybe.
So we got a lot of Shein, which will stay away because it's plastic from China. So that's a big no.
Big no. Okay.
If you want to do, also, can I give you a quick tip? Corporate dressing, do street style.
Oh, okay.
If you add street style to the mix, then you're gonna get a little bit more better. If you want to Google it, you're gonna get better things. But
so definitely nothing from Shein, even though I think some of these things, like this looks so professional, but I think this, buy it, the material.
Yes, so like stay away. Like $12 shirt. That's, I mean, it's made out of plastic. For $1 in China. So we want to kind of stay away from.
Yeah, what's crazy is everything here is Shein.
It's because it's very popular and people buy it. So unfortunately.
What about this dress code? So what about an outfit like this? Like
it's very conservative. The second one too. The third one is a big no. So this is like someone wears like 20 years ago, circa 2000, working for, like, it's just a little bit too dated, I would call it.
Okay.
The first one probably is the best from all of them because it's clean, classic, straight leg, nice blazer, rolled sleeve. There's a little bit of styling in it. The second one is a little bit too conservative too. I would keep the blouse and switch the skirt into like maybe A-line, something below the knee, maybe pleated skirt. It will make it a little bit more modern.
Okay, understood. What about dresses? Like, I love dresses.
Yeah. And that orange is beautiful.
Right?
Orange. But you see, this is more of street style. So like this is more kind of elevated look. Maybe if you're not into color, you can wear the same dress in black, in nude, in beige. The black and white skirt blouse is actually, this is what I said about pleated skirt. This is way better and more comfortable.
Okay.
Pencil skirts, like, it's so tight. You're sitting, your legs are cramped, and then pleated skirts gives you a little bit more.
Absolutely. Let's see what else. Let's see what corporate suit comes up. So what about suits? Because I think like for men, I feel like they have a better idea of what suits to wear. Me personally, Basha, you're not going to believe this, I maybe own one suit if I go looking in there. So for someone that wants to start maybe wearing more suits, because of course suits do make you look more mature, more like a leader, what is something you should look out for? Like, do you see something here? Let's actually ladies and see what comes up. Corporate suit ladies. What do you think? Do you see anything here that you're like, yeah?
I like this red one. It says eBay. This one, yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at this. Okay.
This is fine. The pants are modern, so anything skinny is really dated, and it's straight leg is much more modern. Nice fit, so this is a great look. I mean, for women, you can just break it. For men, I always say men are just so much easier to dress. They just grab, shirt and a blazer and jeans or slacks, and they can just switch and have. I think I saw a comment here that someone likes the capsule wardrobe, and I was a man, and I'm like, yes, for men it's so much easier.
Of course, which is crazy. It's crazy. I feel like as women, we just have to work harder for everything.
Yes.
Including our dressing. Okay, great. So I think I got a pretty good idea. One thing I think maybe, Basia, you could do, let's stop sharing. Let me see. I would love to get kind of your input on my dressing style, if that's something you
Yes.
I think
Let's
I
do
know.
it.
Trust me, I really want to walk away from this also and be like, okay, I know what to do now. So let me share my screen with you, maybe show you some of the stuff that I wear. And again, for me, like the way that I try to show up on LinkedIn, especially, is I want to look corporate, but I still want to be myself.
Mhm.
So you're going to see different things. Like you're going to see me in a hoodie, and then you're going to see me in a collar top. Maybe we can go to my images and, like, and by the way, this is maybe the only like blazer that I own. So I love wearing jeans. I'll always put on like a white top and a blazer. For me, that's like, okay, a little bit of effort, but not too much work. And then I love, for me, I'll tell you this, the biggest thing is colors. I think certain colors look good on some people and certain colors don't look good on other people. So for example, when I wear green, right? Everyone tells me, oh my gosh, you look really good today. Like for some reason, like this type of green just brings out something in my skin that makes me more glowy or something like that.
You look to me like you have a warm undertones. This is a very warm color.
Okay. So I guess you have to know, see, like you'll see me wear so much green. There's green here, there's green here. Like I always just gravitate towards green because I feel like
this is great. Like I think you're doing such a good job because, like you said, you're showing that corporate side. So you're wearing the classic silhouettes, you're wearing the classic slacks, you're wearing a blazer with a white crispy t-shirt, but then you put it with jeans. So you make it more corporate, but then approachable. I think this is really good, like a fine line. So you're not too intimidating, but then you're still being Maria yourself in a way. You don't have to probably, just because you're not working in the office, you're working from home. You have to be appealing to your clients in a way of who they are, how they are dressing, where they work. So you're thinking about the client that I said at the beginning,
right.
But you're also incorporating your personality, your kind of style. I see a lot of florals as well, like dresses.
Florals. Like I'm such a girly girl, and I try to kind of put that in my dressing sense. Like I love wearing dresses. Like this is something I'm so comfortable in, right? Put on like a light colored dress that's up to my feet. But of course, this is not something I would wear in the corporate world. But for me, the corporate world this is actually an old photo from Stanford when I used to work there. So this was the basic. This is what I would wear 90% of the time. I would put on like a black and white shirt, a blazer on top, and then it would either be jeans or maybe like black, light type of pants. I don't know how good of an idea the leggings were, but this is what I would always wear, and I'd be so comfortable in it, But I felt like it was boring. That's the only thing. I felt like this was so boring. And I think now recently I've started adding in more colors. Like I started getting more collar tops with like pinks and everything. I love pink.
You see, you could wear this shirt with the white blazer.
The right blazer. Okay.
And then black pants. So you're still incorporating the elements of your style, the florals. I hear a lot of time, like from corporate women, like, I love flowers, I can't wear it. I'm like, yes, if you know how to do it. So if you wear this blouse, but you put the white blazer on top, the blazer makes it more corporate. The shirt is a little bit more casual, and you style it with black pants, or like a dark pants can be navy pants, because navy would be really good with this shirt, this color together. That makes it more interesting, but still appropriate to wear to work.
Okay. And then the black pants, like, should they be pants that are like, is there a specific type of pants that you
I would just do a straight black slacks you can wear with a little bit of stretch, because stretch always helps.
Okay, that's good to know. Let's see if there's any other examples I can give.
Oh, that red one, you wear the dress. Orange? Is it orange?
Probably
next to the, yes, this one.
Yeah, so this was, okay, you're gonna laugh at me, but this was actually a dress I got from Shein.
Oh no.
I was like, what is this craze about Shein? Why is everyone shopping at Shein? So I was like, let me get a couple of things. And you know what? Like sometimes I think it's okay. But the only problem with this material, this was summertime, and the material was not breathable. So I was sweating in this.
Because it's polyester, you can't wear polyester. Polyester is a good fabric if you add it to another fabric. So let's say you have linen, which is very wrinkly fabric. You add polyester to it, it's going to be less wrinkly. It's going to be a little bit more, I call it stabilized. So it's not going to be so looking like somebody chew on it, because that polyester is a fabric that I always say you can drive your car over it and nothing's going to happen to it. Because it's a very durable fabric.
That is so funny. But yeah, so this is when I was experimenting with Shein, and like it was nice, it looked good from far away, but the closer you got, I was like, and I don't even have this red dress anymore. I kind of threw it away.
Yeah.
But Basia, anything you would say like is a big no, get rid of this. You don't need this in your closets.
Oh my gosh, yes, so many things.
Especially something you've seen. Maybe people were on LinkedIn and you're like, no, don't wear that. By the way, guys, let us know again if you have questions. After this, we'll start seeing or answering any of your questions.
I see anything that looks cheap and shiny. So any type of satin tops that's shiny, you can see those a lot from like maybe lower end, like corporate brands. Even if you go to, I would say, JCPenney or Macy's and those cheaper brands, corporate looking clothes, so like shiny blouses, white, that you can actually see the shine, it looks really, really cheap. Then the shoes that have like round toes and very kind of like a how you call this, it's more like not a square but almost like a round heel. Those, yes, so very dated. If you want to do it with pointy toe and then skinnier heel. It's going to make it so much more a little bit more, I would say it, elevate the look. I would say, what else? Anything pants wise, I would stay away from any low rise. Keep it high rise, mid rise. Low rise, it's just not flattering on anyone.
I hope that never comes back.
It's coming back. It's a huge thing. But I don't think people, even if it's coming back, no one, I would say absolutely don't wear this. This is terrible.
Yeah. It took me so long to go from bell bottoms from when I was a teenager to skinny, and now back to bell bottoms. It took me so long to transition.
Yes.
Now, like, I hate skinny jeans. Now, everything that I buy is like either straight or bell bottoms. But I think it just takes us, especially millennials, it takes us a whole time to like get used to something new, especially since we've done it once before. Now you're telling me I can't do it anymore. Like, I feel like Gen Z is bringing out like this whole new trend. I'm interested to see what Gen Z's fashion is going to be like in the corporate world.
Gen Z thinks 90s was cool. And I'm like, ooh, no, I don't think it's kind of cool.
Exactly.
Mom's jeans are back, all those things. So.
Yeah. But one last thing I wanted to kind of go over was your dressing sense. So I'm going to pull up your account here. There's certain things that I'm just like, wow, Basia, like that looks so good. Like, for example, number one here, this simple white, but it's so elegant and classy suit. Like, I love this. It looks like I can see how buttery the material is just from the photo. So,
so here's the thing. The way I think about my brand and how I want to dress. So there's something maybe it can be a really good tip as well. I use color and then overall my look also as how people going to portray me. So I understand with my accent, I have very strong accent, and sometimes I feel it's coming out a little bit angry the way I say. I also don't smile too much. I'm always, the way like we're talking right now, I keep telling myself to smile.
Okay.
Because I can come out a little bit more, I don't know, intimidating, angry with the accent, because I'm thinking what I have to say, but then also thinking to say it correctly in English. So a lot of times I see my face is white is a color very approachable. It's a like openness. It's a clear, pure color. So with the color, I try to kind of look very approachable. Yeah, if I say it that way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I absolutely love your dressing style. And I love what you wrote here. The problem is not the clothes you wear, but how you put it together. So love that. And even I think this outfit too, like I love browns and I love like pastel colors. Like I felt like this was such a good look that you put together as well. The shoes go so well with the pants, with the top, and all of that. So I think, like I love your style. And that's why I started following you, Basha, because I was like, okay, I was like trying to incorporate some of the stuff that I saw. Let me see what else. Like for me, this is a classic. Like I love this. I feel like this is one outfit everyone should have.
Yes.
Jeans, white top, and a nice blazer, and some nice maybe mules. I think they call these mules to go with it.
Mm-hmm. Mules, just the classic mules. Yeah. So that's kind of like the same thing that you wore, the black blazer, white shirt, and jeans. That's like you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And here again, the black and white. I feel like especially like I think one thing people don't talk about is like the color of your hair and then what you're wearing. Like because I have black hair, I try to avoid black tops because then I feel like I just look gothic almost. Right. So I love that, if you have like colored hair, you can wear a lot more black because I think black is just something everybody gravitates towards. It's a color that's easy. I think everyone feels like, oh, I look skinnier in this. So this is also such a great outfit. I love this one. But yeah, one thing I wanted to let you guys know also, I think Basha, you have a quiz on your.
I do.
Yeah. So if you're watching, you want to elevate your style, do follow Basha and take her quiz. Can you tell us, Basha, how this is going to help people and what they can expect from this?
So this is great for anyone who kind of wants to figure out where to get started. So I have like we say, closet full of clothes. I don't know what my style is. I don't know what should I be starting with. Like what do I do? So after taking the quiz, it will give you one of the 6 results of specific style, and then the result page will give you what this style is, what are the silhouettes that are in the style, how to put looks together, and a list of brands.
Okay, perfect. I'm definitely going to take this after. I know I saw it a few times and I just never got around to doing it, but this is something I feel like is going to be so helpful. So if you're someone that wants to elevate your style again, do check out Basha's account, follow her, you guys, and take her quiz here. I think even for me, I had to really sit down one day and be like, okay, what are we doing with our style? Come on, I need to figure this out. So take out that time. I think it's going to go a long, long way. So it's really going to help. But that is great. Awesome. So one last thing, Basha. I know I said we were going to be like half an hour, but this is just so interesting to me. And we have over 100 people. So I know people are watching, which is why I'm happy to keep going. But one last thing that I really wanted to talk about is accessories. I feel like we focus so much on the clothes, but I think it's the accessories that bring your outfit to life. So what are your recommendations with accessories? Like for me, I always I love dainty, so I'm always wearing something very simple, and I'm lazy. So for me, I want something I can just put on and not worry about it. Like for example, this, and then I'll always have studs on and then a ring or two. But what are your kind of thoughts on accessories? What are some things we should have in our wardrobe? Like purses, belts, jewelry. What are some things that you feel like, hey, go get these right now, get some good quality ones and always wear them?
So you're doing it correctly. Dainty, any minimalistic jewelry is actually best because jewelry, it's an accessory, right? So it should kind of bring the look together. That includes belts, includes any type of rings, any type of, I don't know if we want to do it something for the hair or whatever that is. I see a lot of women thinking that big jewelry, any type of jewelry was going to elevate their look. And this is really far from the truth, especially the big type of stones. They are most of the time made out of plastic. They are shiny. There's nothing modern about it. If you want to elevate it, small, like I'm wearing just a small, I don't have an ear pierce, but I have a silver little guy here. If I would wear, I'm not a huge jewelry person, but I would do exactly what you do. So like something round here, and maybe layer it with two things, but within this little square, that would be more than enough.
Right.
Belts, I would do probably like a 3 belt. You can do a belt for jeans. So usually of jeans or pants. So you can do black, you can do brown, and you can do one maybe a little bit more fancier. So maybe something gold. It can be chain, something like instead of, if you wear a dress, instead of wearing the belt that comes with the dress, switching for something else, or switching for another belt, that would be actually elevating that look. So you're not wearing the same belt, you're actually switching into something else. And just keep it simple, layer things. One thing I would say, because that's the big question I always have, layering things and what type of necklace goes with what type of neckline. In fashion, in style, everything is to create a contrast. You don't want to always create in contrast. So even if you're wearing, going back to clothes, if you're wearing simple clothes, think of how I can create the contrast. Contrast you can create with fabrics. So let's say silk, something very, very light. So let's say pants or skirt with heavier sweater. That's a contrast. Now with let's say jewelry, so I'm wearing V-neck, you want a round. That's creating a contrast, because V is just going to be like, what's going on? With round, with the V, that's a contrast that's making it interesting. So anything to do with the contrast in fashion is what's going to elevate, it's going to make it more interesting, even if you wear simple clothes.
That's so interesting. I never thought about that. For me, you know what I just do? I'll just put two things together. I'm like, does this work? No, but I won't know why it's not working.
Yes, you don't know why it's working.
So I'm looking for contrast. Okay.
Contrast. Yes.
Good to know.
Anything to do with anything in style. So contrasting necklines with jewelry size, contrasting colors. You can do black and navy together. It's amazing. So instead of black with black, it's okay, it's great. But black with navy, that's all enough to elevate it, because it's a contrasting colors, right? So even though we are neutral colors, together, like a lot of times like, oh, that doesn't work. Yes, it does, because that creates that friction, sort of, I call it friction in an outfit.
Yeah, that's good advice. I think one thing I have started doing that I didn't before, especially when I'm traveling, if I know I'm traveling, before I would just put a few shirts, a few pants. Now, this is something I never thought I would do, but I would literally try on every outfit exactly how it's going to be the day of before I pack it. So because I travel a lot, I work from home, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to work from home, so I can go places. So I've been traveling a lot, and in the beginning, like I said, I would just throw everything, and then I would have like terrible outfits. So I'll actually sit down now, put everything on, look at it, including the accessories, including the shoes, including the purse. I'm like, this is what it's going to look like. Okay, does this work? Yes. All right, let's put it in. So I think with style, you do have to put in a little bit of an effort. And I think you could tell when somebody puts in an effort. But I know for some people, it comes so naturally, Basia. You even in high school and when you're kids, you could just tell somebody just knows how to put things together. But majority of people, I don't think they know that. And I think style, especially if you want to be portrayed as a leader, it shows how you think of yourself and what you think of yourself. So if you put in a little bit of that effort, I think it's so important in the way that you show up, and you feel better. If you feel better, you'll be more confident.
Exactly.
Iron, you look more clean and crisp and all of that. So style is definitely very, very important. And I love that. Honestly, I love this, Basia. I think I personally learned so much. And if you've learned something today, please say yes in the chat box. Also, let's take some questions. I know we went way over time, but honestly, to me, this was very, very interesting. So Basia, hopefully you have just a few more minutes. But if you guys have any specific questions about clothing, about dressing, styling, especially in the corporate world, especially as a leader, maybe for an interview, I think that would have been a whole topic on its own. What do you wear for an interview?
Conferences, that's another topic. Events, huge topic.
Events,
oh yes,
networking events.
Oh, that's my bread and butter when I did my red carpet things.
If you guys have questions, please drop them. in the chat box. I'll give you guys a minute. If not, then I would love to just I have a million questions, Basia. I feel like I'm going to get on a consultation with you and talk about this. But let's see if people have questions. If not, I literally have 10 I can ask. But yeah, maybe one, since I don't see any yet. Come on, guys. There's 125 of you. What questions do you guys have? Give me one question, one good question, because I know there's probably something me and Basia are not thinking of right now that you might want to know. So let us know. Let's give everyone one more minute. I know there's a little bit of a lag. So I'll speak and every time I watch it back, there's a bit of a lag. So let's give people time. Questions, guys. Come on, give us questions. What do you guys want to know? Take advantage of this. Basia's giving you everything right now. Basia, thank you so much, by the way. I can tell you're not holding anything back. So any questions, you guys do take advantage of it right now. If not, let's actually, okay, it looks like maybe people are thinking, let's give them some time. But what about interviews, Basia? Last question, kind of just from me, but what about interviews? It's I have so many clients, by the way, I'm working with right now that have interviews coming up. I'm prepping them for interviews. I'm getting them ready to, be presentable. What should they wear? What is one thing you're hey, wear this. This is the best you could do for yourself during an interview.
Keep it simple and keep it, don't take any chances. So this is the one thing I always say, first impressions. You have to come in crisp, clean, classic. So I would stay from, I would never wear this to the interview unless I go and interview and work for one big fashion company. That would be different things. But if you're working for in a bank, going for more a corporate environment, I would keep it simple and classic. It's always a good impression. It's always looking polished. And then when you work in an environment, then it's easier to kind of understand what the environment is already when you have a job. Then you can kind of start incorporating and experimenting with other things. But for the interview, as you preparing somebody to be ready, crisp, I say the same thing. Don't take any chances. I think I talked to one of another coach on LinkedIn, and he was telling me that somebody show up in the interview with flip-flops and t-shirt, and it was I couldn't give him a job. He was amazing. I couldn't give him a job.
Wow.
People don't realize this. Just
so you
women.
You could be the perfect candidate, but if you're wearing flip-flops, they're not going to hire you because it tells them how serious you are about this job, right?
Mm-hmm.
But someone's asking a question here, Kristen, that I thought was really interesting. So Kristen's asking, for interviews, I heard black is one of the best colors to wear. Contrast black sweater with a white blouse or light colored blouse. What do you think about that, Basia?
This color black is good. Contrast black sweater with white blouse or light colored blouse. Yes, I would do this. Yeah, you can totally wear black. You can just wear a blouse with black pants. That's always fine as well. And any type of classic color. So you can go for nude, beiges, taupe, anything that goes into neutral, goes into classic. So think classic, think whatever people, whatever you could wear 20 years ago and you can wear in 20 years. So any type of, white button up if you want, silk with classic black pants. You don't have to wear totally high heels. You can be smaller heel. You can wear mules, the thing that I wore in one of those pictures. That's always a good thing, yes.
Okay. Someone enough here is saying, I've noticed people don't take me seriously unless I dress more formal. And I want to talk about that because the comment right after that is, wow, this is so superficial. Bye. So I want to address that because you know what? If you think that you can just show up without putting in any effort and not wear things, people will not take you seriously. I'm sorry, but we do live in a superficial world, unfortunately. That doesn't mean I don't think it's superficial in the way that you have to put in so much effort. But you do have to put in a little bit of effort for people to be okay, you know what? This person cares about this job interview, for example. Flip-flops, like we just talked about. You cannot show up just wearing flip-flops. I would never take somebody seriously if they showed up wearing flip-flops. It tells me that you're too casual and you just didn't put in any effort, So what do you think about that? I personally, honestly, from my own experience, when I dress up and I go somewhere, I'm treated very differently than if I just show up in sweats, and I wish the world was different, you guys, but it's not. And in the corporate world, everything you're doing is being analyzed, right? So if
I
you
mean, this is another topic. Because I always look at those type of comments. I look at this as from a perspective, you are welcome to wear whatever you want,
Mhm.
because this conversation might not be for you, and it's okay. It's totally fine. If you want to wear flip-flops, that's great. If you want to wear flip-flops because you are working in, I don't know, you are working on a beach and then you're going, sure. But this is conversation for people who want to, they know that dressing and whatever you dress is important, and it's important to them, and it makes the difference how they feel, how they perform. So everyone has their own opinion, their own feelings, and we have to, I always welcome those type of comments, because I always say that's okay. You don't have to do it. No one is forcing you. The one thing I always also say, the fact that you might not care or might not see doesn't mean that everybody are not either. So the fact that you can walk like this into the job interview doesn't mean that someone who's going to interview is not going to pay attention to it. So I always think about this from that perspective of somebody else. Don't take it so much seriously. I'm not going to be dressing for somebody else, obviously, but I always keep in mind that when the way I dress, I'm going to be judged. That's how it is, especially in fashion.
Unfortunately, yeah.
It's never going to go away. That goes for women and that goes for men.
Exactly. I agree with you. I really agree with you on that. And that's why, you know what, even for me, like when I show up on LinkedIn, I show up as my best, because I know there's like I have over 200,000 followers. And I'm like, I kind of owe it to them to show up as my best. And when I show up as my best, I feel better. I'm more confident. When I have like my hair done, a little bit of makeup, I'm wearing, like a nice outfit, or I try to anyway, I'm sure. But I'm sure you have like questions for me, Basia, about those. But I at least try, right? And I think that at the end of the day, that's the most you could do. Try, put in a little bit of an effort, and it's going to be good for you at the end of the day, more than anything.
It's always for all the clients, all the women I work with, we are always doing it for them. It's always because they know that they want to feel better. So
exactly,
that's it.
So let's take a last question here by Alex. I really like this one. Is there any difference in dress code you would suggest when approaching a panel interview versus one-on-one? So if you're doing an interview with like 5-6 people versus one-on-one, do you think you should dress different?
You mean is an interview for a job interview, right?
Yes.
I don't think so. I mean, the one-on-one might be a little bit more casual, I would imagine. But you would just show up in an interview as an interview. So I don't think there's a difference talking to 5 people or one person who wants to give you a job. I mean, that's my take on this.
Okay. What about if it's like a more senior level position than maybe just like an entry level? Do you think you should dress different in that sense?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, for somebody who is going to interview for being intern, or I don't know, lower position, you still want to show up as, polished and dressed well. Obviously, for I don't know, CEO, I didn't work for corporate women, but it's dressing women. But I just think you should just always dress polished, no matter what. When it comes to the interviews, if you dressing, if you are interviewed by one person or many people. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm going to answer this last question from Kristen, because I love that she asked this. She said, crazy question. I typically don't wear polish but have natural nails, but I'm wondering, on a virtual call, should our nails be painted? I see Maria has beautiful polished nails. Thoughts? So Kristen, first of all, thank you for noticing. Because you guys, my nails for me is so important. I always, every 3 weeks, go get my nails, my mani-pedi done. And for me, like this is all people see, right? So even though I get like a pedicure too, I use my hands a lot. Your body language is important when you're communicating, when you're presenting. So that's why I always have my nails done, because you guys are going to see my hands. So I don't think you necessarily have to have long nails or any crazy designs. But for me, I'm also a very girly girl. So I like everything to be polished. I like my hair done. Like I like to have a little bit of makeup on. And nails, I think, Kristen, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good knowing that my nails are clean and they're not like chipped and stuff like that. So you don't have to go to a salon. I think just as long as you put on even a clear coat and they're shaped nicely, I think that's more than enough, especially online, because again, you're going to be using your hands. People are going to see your hands. If you're not using your hands, you should be, because that's, again, 55% of your communication is your body language, and our hands are storytelling tools, but that's a whole other topic. But just to answer your question, Kristen, if it makes you feel good, yes, do it. And for me, at least do the basics, right? At least have them shaped nicely, make sure your cuticles are clean. You could do it at home. Now that's the great thing, right? And for me, like, I always have my nails, and you will never catch me so far without my nails. The past 2-3 years, like, nope, that's one thing I do. I don't go for haircuts, by the way, Basha. Like, I don't go for haircuts. I don't do facials. I don't do anything else but my nails. And your hands say so much about you, right? So when your hands are nice and clean, it also adds to your look, your wardrobe. It's like an accessory. So I don't pay attention to earrings, that type of stuff, but nails, yes. For me, it's very important. And I think you should just do the basics. That's all when it comes to nails. But yeah. All right. Thank you for that question, by the way, Kristen. I thought that was interesting. But all right. Okay. So we are way over our time, but this was just such a good talk, Basha. I really want to thank you, first of all, so much.
Of course.
I'm glad we were able to get this done. Any last words you want to add in? Anything else you want to tell people? And of course, you guys, by the way, if you are interested, if you're here right now, I know you guys take your dressing sense seriously. You want to dress more like a leader. So do follow Basha, follow her, and she has a quiz for you guys. It's a free resource. Take advantage of these things, right? You guys, I'm always looking for free stuff. If I see something, I'm going to do it. Take advantage of it. It's really going to help you determine what your style is, what things work for you and what don't. So do take that quiz. It's on Basha's profile, and let us know what you think. But yeah, any last words, Basha?
Stay true to yourself. Your personality is very important. Don't copy anybody else, because people will see it.
Okay.
And think about the fit. Think about the way clothes just basically fit you, how you put together, and what makes you confident. I think that's really important in the end of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially now, I think that what's great is we're moving more into that comfort zone, and it's allowed now a lot more. Whereas before, it's like the way I used to dress before pandemic versus now, totally different. So the world is changing. I think for me, it's just look at the world too, what's going on. If everyone is all of a sudden trendy, I feel like you kind of have to not follow the trends, but there's certain things that look good in that time. So look at the world around you too and see what's going on. Just like right now, comfort is accepted. So yeah, I mean, honestly, there's so much more, Basha, I feel like we could talk about.
I know. I can talk for hours.
Yeah, I feel like we should do one more live where we're just talking about interviews and, give examples of what to wear head to toe.
And events, that's a big one too.
Events, yes. Oh my gosh, events.
Yeah.
I'm an introvert, and most of my followers are introverts, so we don't go to events. We're home.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So we're saving ourselves.
That's a nightmare for me too. So.
No, Basha, when I tell you this is my life, I'm in my apartment. I'm not going out. Like there has to be something very exceptional going on for me to step out of my house.
I resonate this so much. I always, comment on your posts. I'm like, oh, I feel you. I'm at home by myself with my cats, alone.
It's like my piece.
So happy.
I love that. I don't have to buy outfits. I don't have to. But of course, I'm online, so I still have to put in the effort. But it's nice to be home, and even then, But one thing I've started doing, Basha. So like my pajamas, I used to put on whatever before. I've actually made an effort now of getting matching pieces. I'm like, no, I'm gonna go to sleep feeling like, okay, I put in some effort.
That makes a huge difference, does it?
Yeah, I like that. I like, even though I'm waking up, looking crusty and my hair is crazy, but just wearing a matching outfit, to sleep, something comfortable, it makes me feel like, oh, I did something. I don't know what it is, but that little bit of effort goes such a long way.
It does. It's true.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Basha. This was lovely. Honestly, this went even better than I was expecting, because
thank you for having me.
Of Of course. And we've been connected for so long. I'm so glad we finally got to do this. And you guys follow her her content. It's really, really good. I actually sit there and I read everything Basia, and I try to comment because I'm like, I love this. I want to stay on Basia's algorithm, so LinkedIn shows me more of her stuff. So you guys do check out her stuff. It's amazing. You guys are going to learn so much about fashion, about dressing more like a boss. It feels good. It feels great. And looking more like a leader. Put in a little bit of that effort. That's all that's needed. I don't think you have to go crazy. And if you want help, Basia's right here to help you. Okay. All right, Basia. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. I'll see you soon. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.